Erik is ready. Owen he needs to be cleared, and we'll find out right now. But he's very, very close, if not tonight. So I wouldn't rule him out yet, but we'll see.
Will Erik play tonight? You said he's ready. Will he play?
Yeah.
Does Kale come out for Erik?
Do I try to trick you like that, Paul?
I always just want to be clear.
Didn't realize that my wordage, but yes, good follow-up question.
Will Kale come out?
Yes. And he's played well.
As far as Jacob goes, I mean, he might be in his best groove since, maybe the beginning of 21-22. Just what stood out about how Jacob's played over the last couple of weeks?
A lot has stood out. I guess I can't think of everything stood out. I mean, he's a better player. He's worked very hard to become a better player using hindsight from last year, experience from last year, whether that be training different over the summer, or preparing different, and then staying very prepared, waiting for opportunity. And that's a skill in itself, to be ready when opportunity calls. He had to play. He went and played games in the American League to stay in it, stay in game condition. But it was all in preparation for his next opportunity, which he has done very, very well when given opportunity.
Is there a danger when it comes to facing a team that's got such a quick turnaround to play against tonight? You're waiting for them on the other side with Carolina and having them play so, I guess, late on the East Coast last night.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if danger's the word, but you do. I mean, you can, on the negative side for a team that's played back to back, there could be some fatigue. On the positive side, you are in a rhythm. I mean, you feel like you're coming off the game, and that can go, that's it's unpredictable to that regard. Sometimes you're in a groove and you feel great playing it back to back, and other times maybe fatigue hits you. So, who knows what that'll be, but there's positives potentially or negatives potentially to it. We just have to, obviously focus on what we need to do. And you may tweak something here or there, or emphasize something, not opposed to tweak, emphasize something if you're playing a team on a back-to-back, but you still have to play your game.
You've been able to prevail recently in some one-goal games and win those games. Is that attributed to some of the maturity you've been talking about recently?
There's no question we're much more mature as we go. We're seeing more and more signs of maturity. One goal games, and specifically, I know, Paul, leading after the second period, if you look at our data for 2 years, it's been really good, really, really good. So that's not a new, if we're talking specifically that, holding third period leads or leading after the second, we've been one of the best in the league for 2 years now. And but there are many other areas of our game that are definitely, you're definitely seeing a more mature or more maturity out of the group, a greater sense of objective, even an increased level to compete in the targeted areas that you need to, net front or D-zone battles or entries against, those sorts of things, which is, what we want. It's the areas we've been targeting to make improvements, and I think guys have taken that to heart.
What's been the key for you guys to be getting out of your own zone pretty quick? I mean, it seems like the last several games, especially, you guys have just been able to get to offense and a lot of one and done possessions for the other team. Again,
I think I think the group. Well, Bryson is very good at that. Ryan Johnson's very good at that. So I think personnel, and I think they're just getting better, getting more comfortable, maybe more support on exit, and when there's not on exit reading that you're going to have to do what almost every team does, just next zone mentality is aerial it out, send it out, advance it to the next zone or beyond pressure. But I think we've broken pressure as a group better than maybe we have in the past.
Keeping Krebs on a younger line, I don't want to just call it a scoring line because we've seen Gergensen's and Oposo score, but what are you liking out of Krebs with Benson and Paterka?
Speed, quickness, the pace that those three play at is what I really like and like most.
I'm sure when you guys guys acquired Eric Robinson, you got a report on him, but what have you learned about him since he arrived that's made him, a nice fit and has helped him contribute to that group especially?
I would say, aside from his physical attributes, the consistency with which he plays. A very consistent player. So as a coach, you want to know, the situation is going to be different any moment within a game, the context of the score, time left, those sorts of things, matchups. So when you put guys on the ice, obviously you want to know what they do, and the more consistent they do it, the more comfortable you feel. And Erik is very consistent as a person, and very consistent as a hockey player. He plays the way he plays more consistently than the next guy. Say he does what he does and does it more often than not. And that predictability means you can put him in. You feel comfortable as a coach that, okay, I know what I'm going to get out of this player in this particular situation as you make decisions.
What's made that line effective? Obviously, three, I guess, straight-ahead players, you could say, but what's made them effective when you look at it?
Effort, energy, and the style of play. Just pucks continually moving forward where they can pressure them, staying on pressure, being physical wherever they can, and just simple and direct. Simple, direct, and hard are three things that teams talk about a lot, and we've talked a lot in the last month about pucks to the net, body people to the net, and they're getting results with that as their MO.
There's a kind of calmness that there's been in these last two games and closing these games out. Where is that? Is it confidence? Is it just being calm in the moment and understanding, hey, we did do our job, we can win this game? Where does that kind of come from for this group to be that cool?
Yeah, like I said, if you look at our numbers leading after the second, I mean, we've always been that way. We just haven't led after the second enough, I guess, or scored first enough, or would be the real thing for me. But I do, the more than sense you see the group, player after player after player in our roster gaining experience that then manifests in maturity. They're more mature. They've seen this situation more times, and they're more confident and comfortable with what needs to be done to resolve any stressors, or so they're reading the situation. They're more comfortable in the situation. They're reading it together as a unit of five. I mean, to tie in what a bunch of questions that were here already. Exiting your zone, you need five guys. You need five guys to read it. Are we ready to go? Do we still have to break pressure? What type of support does the player need? So we're reading situations as a group of five much better. That's obviously a sign of maturity, or signs of maturing, and situational awareness. We've been in this situation more and more and more now as a group, and I think those little nuances are getting more and more familiar, and they're executing at a higher level of proficiency as a result.